Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so we're sitting here right now. Number 2, take 2, because we were told, look at me more this time around because you weren't looking at me enough. I'm wearing my Leonard Skinner t-shirt my son got me, and I wanted to be a little bit like Norm. And we'll share with you Norm and Tina's, right?
Yep.
Norm and Tina's
Canadian retired couple.
YouTube travel content, travel creator,
Content creator, yeah.
Yeah, travel content creators.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've liked them and watched a number of their videos and subscribed to their channel.
So sometimes when we're traveling and Brian pretends that we're them, and we'll pretend we're doing a video, and he'll go, "So what do you think about that, Teen?" And then I just start laughing, and nobody knows why I'm laughing, but it's because he's pretending he's Norm and I'm Teen. So hi, Teen and Norm.
Yeah, if you ever watch this video, you have inspired us.
Yeah.
But
yay.
Okay, so we're sitting here right now, video 2. Want to have it about 10 minutes in length so we get monetized without doing any editing, just throwing it up there. We've thrown the last one up there. It's uploading as we speak. We weren't sure as we did all of it on our iPhone 15. We don't think we have a thumbnail and a title on it yet.
Yeah,
so
we have some work to do.
So we're going to go back once it's uploaded and say, ooh, this needs work, that needs work. But we are
creating content.
Yeah, and we're doing what has been shared with us.
Travel, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it might not be travel at all.
It's supposed to be travel.
But that's our inspiration, is that's what we could share with the most. But I don't know.
Should we talk about our most recent trip to New Zealand?
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
We could talk about anything.
We just spent 3 weeks in New Zealand, South Island, and we rented a car. Initially, we were going to rent the camper. That was a big decision, back and forth. Should we get the camper? Should we get a car?
Okay, which of course, then let's explain a little bit more who someone might be watching this for the first time. New Zealand and campers.
Mm-hmm. It's common for people to rent a camper because there's a lot of places that you can stay for free or very inexpensively, and it gives you the freedom to move around the country without having a specific plan and reservations. So if you like an area, you can stay longer, and you have everything in your van. So supposedly it could be more convenient and cheaper. I guess we didn't do it the camper, so I can't say 100%, but when I was doing the calculating, it didn't seem that it would be actually cheaper for us. And having not been camper people, or just even camping in general, we were afraid that being in the camper 24/7 for 3 weeks, I don't know, it just didn't sound very fun. Not being able to stand, like if it's raining, you're stuck in this little place, and if it's not tall enough for Brian, I mean, I'm short enough, I could probably stand, or like only having a bed and not really having chairs. Or do you really want to get a bigger camper? And then how hard is it to drive up the hills or the mountains in New Zealand, and the gas it took, so I think for some people it's a great option. But we talked to and I say an older couple, retired couple, who they had the camper. There's different size campers one could purchase too, and obviously that would then increase expenses. If you go a little bit bigger, the rent is more. If you go a little bit bigger, the gas will be more. But we've talked to some retired couples that were going around with the camper, and they loved it. They absolutely thought it was fantastic. So in the event we go back a second time, we might entertain that idea. Not because we had a bad experience with our Airbnbs. We did not. Actually, just the opposite. Incredible Airbnbs. Oh yeah, we'll have to show some pictures of some of the places we stayed. I guess, yeah, if you're willing to spend more money, in our case, if we were willing to spend more money on a bigger camper that we had a lot of space in, we would probably just love it. But I'm always pretty much trying to be a budget traveler because I want to be able to do lots of traveling and I don't want to like have big expensive trips if I can do lots of more affordable trips. I'd rather do a lot more affordable trips than a big expensive few. Anyway, so that and the comfort and then the gas and driving on the different side of the road. There were just a lot of things that it was tough. We could have went either way, and in the end, we went for the car, and which meant that I had to then make a plan of where we were going to go so that I could reserve all our rooms because we were going during the high season, and I didn't want to like be too open that we get someplace and not be able to find something that we might like.
Yeah, and it's worked out
At a
real
good
well
price.
now with 3 months in Europe. Denise doing the majority of the planning and getting Airbnbs through hotel.com or
Booking.com.
booking.com. We have yet to get a rental car or jump on a train and go to some place without already having a scheduled hotel, Airbnb, bed and breakfast. So we cannot speak to the idea of getting a rental car, taking off in New Zealand, and then trying to find a place to stay. They're already prearranged. A lot of work getting those accommodations booked.
Yeah.
And they are booked. Booked with the idea that they're not 5-star hotels that charge Western prices.
Well, I mean, New Zealand I thought was pretty reasonably priced, maybe even cheaper than the United States.
Yeah.
I don't ask for much like we've had anyway. What was I gonna say? Oh, but having the plan, I mean, how to decide how many days to stay at each place, you then have to really look into the area and see what you want to do in each town or each drive. How much time is it going to take to drive from one place to another so that you can figure out how many nights to stay in the hotel, which takes a while to figure out because there's so much on the South Island anyway. Going through and listing everything you want and then going, I'm not going to be able to do this. If I take a day from here, maybe, and just kind of playing with the dates just so that I can hurry up and get them booked, So it was a lot of planning early because even when we finally decided not to get the camper, it was getting to the point where things were starting to book up. And I'm like, I got to figure out our plan so I can get the hotel rooms because then I could be like, a little more relaxed knowing that I have a place and what was really interesting though? I think we picked some places that weren't in the area, probably because maybe it was too expensive. I don't even remember. Maybe I couldn't get any. So maybe I went a little further, and I think that might have happened with the two that we had in Wanaka and Cromwell that were in this beautiful area. One was the farm where we were in the vineyard with the sheeps, and one was on top of the world that you really
Is
love.
it sheeps or sheep?
Sheep.
Okay.
Anyway, it was a lot of planning to get everything, but I liked it, and it's sort of like there's things that I know I want to do, and if you just let somebody else do it, I would just feel like, well, what if they miss something that I wanted to do? How do they, nobody knows what I want to do or
So
we
we
want to do. So I would say, I've had what do you think of this? And then.
So our teamwork has worked out pretty well with not many discussions or debates about you doing a lot of the planning. Of course, you run it by me to see, is this a good idea or a bad idea? But you're doing the majority of the planning. And once we get there, I've got the car keys to the rental car. And
he's so good with directions.
for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
and
like,
we'll talk more about
our
that.
GPS didn't work.
Hey.
We were going to this one place, and Brian's like, I think the turn should be about here. And I'm like, oh my God, the turn was like right there. I'm like, how do you even... Yeah, I'm really bad at directions. So it works out good because Brian doesn't really like to plan.
It's called GPS.
It wasn't working.
GPS.
Do you remember? It wasn't working. Bye.